So today our first session by Dr. Thank you, Dr. Datta. Dr. Devadatta Das, our first session is, as per your schedule, introduction on technical skills for accounting purpose. Nowadays, not only theoretical knowledge, in addition to that, we need some technical skills on accounting. Elaborately, with the first knowledge, Dr. Devadatta Das will discuss this session. So, Dr. Das, may I have the privilege to hand over the mic to you? You can start your session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sinha. I'm already on my mic. Hi students, let's get started. We are exactly on time. Just before getting into start, let me start with a poll, right? So, is the poll is visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Just wanted to know, whether you guys have a little bit knowledge about accounting, or you are completely came with a different background. Wonderful.
Student, please respond to sir that whether the polling is visible to you or not.
Thank you. So, okay, let's get started. I got a fair idea. And okay, let's get started with what is accounting. Anybody would like to say something about what is accounting? Please unmute and speak. Anyone?
Good morning, sir.
Please carry on.
It's an art of collecting, summarizing, and analyzing, reporting the information about the business in monetary terms.
Very good. You are absolutely with a whole lot of idea about accounting. But when we are talking about accounting, let me just make it as generalized, because many people, they don't have a good background of accounting. So for them, we can have a kind of things which we can remember very easily. That's what we call, it's a information providing system. All right, it's a kind of thing which is pretty easy for us to remember, right? So what is accounting? It's a information providing system. So now the question is arising that what information accounting is going to provide, right? If you see that, what information does accounting provide? Anybody would like to pop up, please? Yes.
Financial transactions.
Please. Yes. You are absolutely right. Could you speak a little loud?
Financial transactions.
Very good. Financial transactions. Okay. What else?
Financial condition.
Financial position.
Very good. What is financial position and financial transaction? Okay, don't worry. You just carry on, continue with those words and jargons.
Loss or profit.
Very good. What else?
Company's tax liability for a particular year.
Excellent. See, look at, you guys have a whole lot of idea, but, you need to fine tune it. The answer is pretty simple. Financial transactions, or maybe financial, somebody can say that, financial position, right? So all these, if we, make it like a proper way, proper, form. So the basic answer is the major information what accounting is providing, that is called a financial statement, right? So financial statement consists of whatever you told just now, financial transactions, financial positions, it all covers within that. Okay. So let us talk about this a little bit. What is this financial statement? I think, this is a kind of word which you have heard pretty often, right? While you came across this accounting phenomenon. So let us talk about what is a financial statement. So in a very simpler manner, the financial statement is nothing. It is the three important documents of the company: the balance sheet, the profit and loss account, and the cash flow statement. Right? So this balance sheet is nothing. It is a statement of all assets and liabilities of a business on a particular date, whereas profit and loss account, it is a statement of all income and expenditures of a business during a particular period of time. There's a slight difference between balance sheet and the profit and loss account timings. Whereas cash flow statement, it gives us the whole idea about the cash transactions which has been happened in a business for a particular period. Again, the periodic timing is coming in profit and loss account and cash flow statement. Okay. Fine. So now the question is that, is a financial statement readily available? Guys, you can unmute and speak. Is this financial readily available in the business so that the accountant will go and he will just take a print and he will submit to the management? He'll tell that, hey guys, take this financial statement and do whatever you want. Is it so? Does it happen like that? All right. So the answer is a big no. Right? It is not readily available. If it is not readily available, then what to do? Just think about it that you have to prepare tea. Right? You have to prepare tea. How do you prepare? Tea is not readily available. You have to prepare it. So first you have to find the ingredients, the tea powder, the milk, sugar, all sort of things you need to arrange, you need to identify it, you need to get it. Then usually you do a certain process. And finally your tea is ready. Right? So same things happen here also. The financial statement doesn't available readily. Somebody can't just go and take a print and it gives to the management. It doesn't happen in that way. So how it happens? That again we have to go back to identify those ingredients. And those ingredients are basically, I will discuss. Okay. So the accountant was prepared. All right. So now the question is coming that how to prepare a financial statement, right? So this is a pretty big question. Many of you have already gone through it, and that process we call accounting cycle, or we can call it as accounting process, system, whatever. Very commonly we use this accounting cycle. So how the accountant does it? I mean, how he prepares this account to get it this financial statements, right? There's a cycle, there's a process. So before getting into this process, let me further ask you a question that if the financial statement doesn't available in the business readily, then what is there? What are the ingredients or what are the things which is available so that we can process. If we want to do something, we need to find out the raw material or maybe some kind of input, then we have to process it and then probably we'll get the finished product. So now our output is pretty much determined, right? The financial statement. So what are the requisites? What are the requirements so that we can process it to get into this particular objective? See guys, you just
So the company's investment income, profits
right.
and losses regarding the management.
Very good, very good. What else? Anybody else? I just want to know the exact kind of wordings, because always remember that accounting is basically called as a grammar. There are different type of jargons we use to, right? So you need to learn the grammar, that particular word you need to learn. I mean, obviously we learn the entire 3 years are there, 3 years or 4 years. So before that, you need to understand what are the jargons we use. So look at that we called transactions. It starts actually from transactions. So these are the things which is available in the business. What just now you said, that is absolutely correct. But the right word you have to use there, these are the transactions. The transactions are nothing, they are the events which occur in the business in the day-to-day life, which is related to the economic activities. Alright, non-economic activities we don't consider as the transactions. Please remember. Okay, so it starts with the transaction. So this is the point where the accountant has to identify and recognize. So once you recognize these transactions, then you can start. Your job is pretty easy. Then you can convert it to jobs. Those the commerce students already they know. I saw that in the poll that many of you have a very good idea about those process journals, right? So journal is debit and credit, we have to put it in different segments. So once your journal is ready, then you have to post into the ledgers. That means each and every account you have to create a ledger and you have to post it. Okay? And once your ledger is ready, then what you have to do? You have to prepare a trial balance. That is the whole bit. I mean, let us talk about a little bit about what is trial balance. See, in this process, this is actually we are in the midway. In the midway, this trial balance is actually this is the important statement. So trial balance, we call that it's a statement of all the ledger accounts to check the arithmetical accuracy. This trial balance will guide you whether you are in the right place or not. Many times, many accountants usually they face a lot of difficulties while they are matching the trial balance, because that double entry accounting system, our debit matches with the credit. So the same thing should happen in trial balance. So if there is some kind of mismatch, sometimes the accountant just pull it and match it by adding something called suspense account or something, which is not allowed by the authorities, like income tax act. Income tax act, directly they will give a penalty of 40%. So like that, I mean, it's completely unauthorized account. That means the account which is not known to anyone, suspense. Right? So it's very important that your trial balance should match before you for the process. Right? So we understood what is a transaction, right? So transactions are basically these are the events which occurred in the business in that life. And journal, journal means all the transactions we have to identify the debit and credit, and we have to systematically we have to enter it. Then we understood what is ledger. So ledgers are basically these are the posting of journal account, journal different accounts. And trial balance. So trial balance is a statement of all the ledger accounts to check the arithmetical accuracy, right? So we got about what is accounting. Accounting is the information providing system, and then now we are understanding what is the process of accounting. Okay, so once this trial balance is done, so you can start of making your first journey, that is profit and loss account. So this is also statement. This is a statement of all income and expenditures during a particular period of time. See, look at why we're using the word during a particular period of time, because profit and loss we determined for a period of time. If I'll ask you guys how much salary you draw, it's a pretty vague question, right? I should ask that instead of asking that how much salary you are drawing, I could ask how much salary you are drawing per month or per annum. So probably you can give the answer, right? So same things. I can't ask somebody that how much profit you are making. It's a pretty vague question. So I need to define that. You tell me which period, whether it is for a month basis or quarter basis or annually, half yearly, or per day basis. You need to define the period. Then only the profit and loss I can give you a fair answer, right? So now we understood what is a profit and loss account. Usually we prepare, it's a statement of all your income and expenditures during a particular period of time. And you can prepare it for monthly, you can prepare for quarterly, you can prepare for annually. There's one more question here. Can we prepare profit and loss account every day? The answer is yes, we can prepare. But the problem is that the cost will increase. Think about that. If you start preparing profit and loss account every day, every hour, every minute, whatever, the cost will increase because you have to have more people. You have to, obviously the work will be more. So for that reason, usually the according to some of the authorities like SEBI and stock exchanges, they made it quarterly basis. So usually the profit and loss account, those companies particularly, those companies are listed in stock exchanges. They have to furnish their financial statement on a quarterly basis. Okay, not monthly basis. Fair enough. So now once profit and loss account is being ready, then we will move to balance sheet. See, this is the process. You can't just jump to balance sheet and then you can prepare profit and loss account. So this is what we call it's a cycle. So once your profit or loss being determined, then you are proceeding preparing a balance sheet. And what is a balance sheet? So balance sheet is a statement of all assets and liabilities on a particular day. So this is not during, so on a particular day. In other words, you can say that it is a statement consisting of all your assets and liabilities. Since your inception, when you started your business, all your assets and liabilities are accumulating, and it is reflecting in your balance sheet. In other words, we also called this balance sheet as book value of assets and liabilities. They're not market values. This is also called book value of assets and liabilities. So once your balance sheet is ready, what you have to do, you can proceed for this cash flow statement. So what is the cash flow statement? It is the inflows and outflows of gas, transactions of gas. Also during a particular period of time. You need to consider the period of time, that opening cash balance and closing cash balance, and you have to analyze it, that where the gas has gone and what are the sources the gas has come from business. All right. I hope that all are getting clear idea about this accounting process. What is financial statement? So this basically this is the last part we call financial statement, right? So now we understood that what is accounting? Accounting is an information providing system. What information accounting provides? Financial statement, right? If somebody want to know financial statement, so probably they have to understand all this process. Right? So, all right, guys. I mean, this is all about this accounting process. But when we are talking about nowadays, we think that the people, they do also a lot of stuff, like they do transactions, they enter journal, pager, calculus, and all sort of things. The answer is that human are pretty much dependent on computers, right? Technologies. So now the question is coming that how we prepare the financial statement. So usually we use a software, like a software like a very popular software like Tally, ACPAD, PC. There are thousands of softwares available for now. Even Excel also helps you a lot for preparing this. The question is coming there. Does this process is required? The answer is yes. Even Tally also maintain the same process. The only difference between this manual accounting and using the software is that software makes things faster. The output you get it will faster. But remember that if you don't know how to enter the journal, if you just make a mistake of debit into credit and credit into debit, then your answer will be wrong. Your financial statement will be. So that basic idea is have, and the machine will process it faster, and you get the results quickly. That means you get your balance sheet, your cash flow statement, profit and loss account pretty quickly in compared to those annual prepared. So we got a whole idea about this accounting. Now let's talk about the technical skills required for an account. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit on this. Earlier, I mean, probably 5-6 years before, just it's not very long gap. 5-6 years before, particularly in India. So accounting means accountant means the people they were treated like a clerk. It was pretty clerical jobs. But things have changed. The technology has changed the dimension of this kind of job. The accountant is no more as a clerk for today's world. They have a very, very versatile role. All those roles we will discuss in a few minutes. Okay. So usually, if you see that what are the technical skills you need in accounting, first of all, the employers look for accounting candidates who can help them advance their business and meet their clients' needs. As a prospective accountant, you must demonstrate proficiency in basic technical accounting skills. So you should have a basic accounting skill, technical accounting skills. That we will discuss what kind of technical accounting skills in details. But try to understand that your role is pretty larger than what usually we share that information providing. You are no more as to provide the information rather than we have added certain things like analyzing, interpreting, decision making, all sort of things we have added to those accounting or accountant roles. Okay. Particularly the course which you have enrolled, the course, I mean the BCom course will teach you a lot of other stuff like you can be expert in auditing, you can be an expert in taxation, you can be a tax consultant, you can be an audit consultant, you can be a management consultant. So a lot of scope it will give you in your coming. So every accountant, auditor, and financial analyst should be up to date with the latest trends in the field, such as output computing and blockchain techniques in market accounting. So all sort of things you need to be prepared and you have to be ready for land into kind of jobs. But the scope is pretty it is pretty wide, pretty large. Okay, so let us discuss a little bit about what kind of technical skill you should have. The first technical skill you should have is that using accounting software. You should be an expert in this accounting software. Knowing the ins and outs of accounting software is crucial to your future as an accountant. Technological advances continues to bring changes to accounting field. Beyond Excel spreadsheets and you should be familiar with process automation, artificial intelligence, and financial modeling software. each accounting firm and organization has its own software maintenance as well. How do you know which one you have to learn? It's a little bit complicated, but take some expert tip that you can send a LinkedIn message to a connection works for an employer you are interested in and inquire about the software that the employer uses. Watch tutorials and read articles to become better acquainted with that particular software as you prepare to enroll with or begin the mission. Right? This is pretty clear about it. Right? How to get into know this? Because as I mentioned earlier, there are thousands of softwares available in the market. And one software you learn, I mean, another the company may not use that particular software. Then you will be landing problems. But as I mentioned in the early stage, that the whole thing is the same. I mean, there is no changes. I mean, it's really based on mathematical measures. I mean, the processes are same. So any kind of software, whether it is a Tally or ACPAC or PC or the TCS or Infosys, they develop a lot of customized software for their clients. Whatever it is, they use the same concepts. They use the same accounting cycles. They use the same transaction journals, ledgers, trial balance, all sort of things, and the wordings are the same. And everybody, that's why you call this a uniformity. The financial statement, what you are learning, is absolutely uniform. There are assets and there are liabilities. The definitions are uniform all across the globe. It's not going to change, so that you have to land it difficult. It's not like that. So the only thing is that a little bit, knowing the idea about that how this software operates. So that will help you to landing in a good job. The next skill is basically you need to be thoroughly and have to be pretty confidently prepare the reporting of financial statements. As we discussed, these financial statements are the bread and butter of accounting. Because that is the only thing, I mean, the major financial decisions are being taken on this particular wordings that called financial statement. That means 3 documents are pretty important. So knowledge of how to prepare and report on financial statements is critical to becoming an accountant. But thorough knowledge, think about that. A company, they have, I mean, generally though it's fine. I mean, standalone company doesn't have any kind of subsidiary, it's fine. Just think about a company, it's a holding company, there are 20 subsidiary companies. So all this you need to accumulate and all this you need to put into the whole things in a single balance sheet. You need to merge it. When you're preparing a consolidated financial statement, I mean, pretty big, huge challenge it comes. So particularly you will be expertise, I mean, gain all the expertise in speaker program. So usually our course has been designed in such a way that we covered all sort of things. Even the line by line consolidation we teach in different courses. So the knowledge of how to prepare and report on financial statement is critical to becoming an accountant. An accountant's everyday responsibility, including creating, tracking, and reporting on balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements, is highly essential. It's not that you just prepare and just leave it. You need to track it, you need to check it. I mean, it's a whole lot of processes. The day-to-day, effort is required. So those skills also develop. And to prepare a financial statement, you must be comfortable performing in-depth analysis and evaluations of clients' financial health and what liabilities. Reporting on financial statement was its own set of skills. So guys, you need to understand that why this particular point is pretty much important. That I just wanted to highlight this particular point that in-depth analysis and evaluation of clients' financial health. Right? What is this? When we are talking about financial health, why it is very, very important? Because many companies, they go to bankruptcy because of bad financial health. It doesn't take much time to enter into this bankruptcy. right? So as a clever businessman or as a clever accountant or as a a key person in your company, you need to have a close eye on your clients' financial health. So how will get it? It's very easy that you have a lot of parameters, and those parameters will give you certain indications about their financial health, right? As I think many of you might have understand that how in today's banking systems is working, right? Even though you guys you are going to apply for a loan, and the loan is being accepted or rejected within a quick time. They don't even take time to understand your financial health. So all the records are there. So one of the parameters of measuring your financial health is CIBIL score. There is a scoring system so that the banks they pretty easily they're accessing those scoring the scores, and finally they decide that whether you are in a very good position or you are running with debt or you are not a good financial paymaster. So accordingly, the bank takes a decision within due time. Right? So same things can be happen. You can develop certain kind of culture in your organizations so that you can understand the client's financial health. Why it is important? Because it will give an alert to give them further credit or not. Because this is one of the stops where usually the organizations of the companies they basically flap, right? Because because of somebody else's financial health, so you are also creating trouble for yourselves. So if you are really tracking all those things, so you can save your company, right? So usually earlier in the very long back, the pretty common format that is called aging system. Aging system means how many credit days you are offering your clients. Okay. And also you need to check the vulnerabilities. Whether your client is pretty smooth client, I mean it is pretty good on-time payment, is making material for you, making the payment on time, or he just sometimes he bargains a lot. So like that, how vulnerable is your client? Or sometimes your client is giving a lot of excuses. Look at today is holiday, today is that, tomorrow is this. I'll make the payment after 4 days, after 2 days. Is that the conditions? So all sort of things you need to analyze, right? So reporting on financial statement require its own set of skills. Right? So you need to develop those skills. I mean, things are there. I mean, in this course, this entire become course, you will get all kind of frameworks. You will understand what is the different ratios. Debtors turnover ratio, creditors turnover ratio, creditors payment period, all sort of jargons, formulas, all sort of things you will learn. But the thing is that you develop your skill to analyze in depth, and you have to evaluate all sort of things. So you have to design and you have to think that culture in your business. The best financial report communicate complex data in a way that is understandable to all stakeholders. See, guys, the business is not that simple as it was happening 30 years or 25 years. Yeah. The business dimension has changed. The e-commerce platforms. You just go to DMart, which is pretty near to our campus. When you are going to DMart, can you see that the amount of transactions, the number of transactions, the number of transactions is absolutely it increased like anything. So the point is that the data has increased a lot. To analyze those data, you need a lot of skills to analyze those particular complex data. Just think about it that in a particular day, and you are doing grocery items, 10 lakh, 20 lakhs grocery item sales. Think about how many number of transactions. Even if you just go to DMart and if you just want to buy milk packet. So they will not say that no, you can't take. You have to minimum 5,000. It's not like that. Even they bill you for 35 or 40 rupees. So look at the number of transactions. The number of transactions means the number of data are increasing. So analyzing those data are pretty complex. So you also need to develop those skills. And also you have to analyze and you have to interpret those skills on the basis of the statements. Should not analyze only on the basis of a particular group of statements or a particular statement. You have to think about all of these stakeholders. Maybe if you are doing a business, you have to think about your customer, you have to think about your employees, think about your investors. So everyone. The next skill is that knowledge of spreadsheets. If you see that, spreadsheets are really, it changed the whole dimension and it eased a lot about the accountant's job when it came. The Microsoft lost, I think, 95, 96. We started using it. So Excel has really taken the place, and many softwares and many kind of development has happened, but no one replaced this particular spreadsheet. Right? So Excel continues to be one of the most valuable tools for accounting. So before you pursue an accounting career, you should understand how to use Excel to organize and manipulate data. Right? So Excel, you have to be expert in Microsoft. In fact, actually, in between that, many programming language softwares are also they came in between. Like nowadays, though we pretty much we are handable used this machine learning platforms like we use Python, R programming, and all. But when we took a survey in the industry, that industry they don't care about how many languages, but even though they can ask a question that do you know those language software like in Python or R or Java, whatever programming languages. But usually they use this Excel in their organizations. So this is a very common thing, and you have to pretty good knowledge about the spreadsheet software. You don't know your way around an Excel spreadsheet. Take some time to practice. You might even take an online course to ensure you are at the top of your game applying for accounting jobs or a graduate. All right. So we understood about our hard skills, what we need to develop. So now let us talk a little bit about soft skill. Accountant is also required a soft skill because, as I mentioned, that accountant role has changed. So earlier, what happened? People, those accountants were not giving any kind of emphasis or any kind of importance to those soft skills, and that's why they were not moving out of a particular boundaries. The organizations were utilizing, or the accountant who was not willing to, go out of their boundaries. So now, these particular soft skills are enhancing the capabilities and the efficiency of the accountant, and the accountants are coming to a new role. So the first one, we can start that with the communication. Right. So accountants need to spend time in meetings with clients. Right. So nowadays, whenever there is a general meeting or any kind of meeting happens, so usually the management first they ask that accountant you should come and you should show some data, because the organization's major data is available with the accountant, whether it is related to expenditures, income, and particularly the more frequently used data, it is in the form of budget. So most of the organizations, the top management usually they ask you for a budget, right? So these are whole things the accountant need to present it. I think all of you might have experienced that how our country runs. Our country also runs with the budgeting system, right? So every year, our finance minister present the whole budget for the entire. On that basis, our incomes, expenditures, it follows. Okay. So same things happen with an organization. So you have to spend some time to meeting with your clients, stakeholders, and fellow employees. So that communication is really it is required to keep those presentations, those clients, stakeholders, and fellow employees. They often need to communicate financial updates. See, in any of those stakeholders, I mean the industry, they are always keen on the financial performance of the company. So whether the company is doing good, whether the company is running under some kind of turbulences, so any sort of problems usually people, the stakeholders are interested. Right? So you may also find accountants collaborating with each other, particularly in larger firms and business with more involved accounting tools. Right? So this communication is one of the important tools and skills which you need to develop. Another soft skill what you develop is time management and operations. So careful organization and effective time management are two soft skills needed to become an accountant. So during the early part of the year, known as tax season, the volume of work for accountants increases. Okay. So while you have to file your income tax return with income tax department, there are deadlines. You can't exceed the deadline, otherwise you pay penalties and fines. So another thing is that it creates impression with the government system that you are pretty good and you are very efficient organization who pays taxes on time. Okay, so same things happen in case of indirect taxes that every month you have to pay your indirect taxes. So by the time of your preparation and furnishing those details, so you will be pretty managed with your timing and you have to organize yourself. The volume of work for accountant increases as you juggle various spreadsheets, clients, and reports. You must keep track of your time and remain aware of strict deadline to file taxes. Okay. So there are many organizations, those who are not particular about timing, so they fail to create that impression in the government. And that they always faces a lot of turbulences and faces difficulties from the department also, because the department suspect on your credibility. In the accounting world, there are consequences for not filing on time. Okay, like as I mentioned that penalties, there are fines, there are suspects from departments, so like all sort of things we get it, and it's vital to maintain self-awareness and discipline to stay on top of it. Right? So this is one of the soft skill you need to develop, that is your time management and you need to organize. So now let's move to the next one, that's called critical thinking. Accounting skills go far beyond sorting through numbers and relying on automated process to create financial statements. We have already discussed on this point. To succeed as an accountant, you need strong critical thinking, ethical dilemmas, reporting errors, and on-balanced spreadsheets require carefully thought and investigation to arrive at the best solution. Right? So this is really important, right? The ethical dilemma. So how you are maintaining this ethics and you are reporting your errors. That means you are bringing a lot of transparency to the system. So that usually you need to develop, and this particular critical thinking you need to inculcate. So develop all sort of things. So accountants need to take an active approach to each task to make predictions and accessories. Numbers alone are not enough. Accountants must uncover the story behind the numbers, right? and I'm expecting that this program, the entire program, all of you should be a good storyteller about the numbers. Just don't think or just don't learn about the numbers and just try to get beyond those the numbers which is representing profit and loss account and balance sheet. You should understand that what these numbers are really. All right. So, and of course the next important skill which you need to develop, that is problem solving. So this particular skill, usually it is it gives a lot of attention of the employers before they're hiring. I mean, they test whether you are enough capable to solve a problem or not. Because the organization, they don't, nowadays, none of the organizations, they reward people, they just come and just work. They want people to solve their problems. Right? So technological advances do not negate the need for accountants to predict trends and make financial forecasts. So problem solving remains among the top input skill for accountants. So that's why the accountant role has completely changed. The dimension has completely changed because of this problem solving nature. Earlier, the organization, they were treating accountant as just to be with that in the information provided within them. But so these kind of characters, it has been added to the accountant, and the accountant role has been fixed. So remember that employers aren't looking for a robot who can just out of string of numbers or analyze data. Rather, they are seeking a creative problem solver who can help meet their needs and identify innovative ways of their operation. So this particular skill, it will give you a fair landing of your prediction. If you can present well that you are a very good problem solver, then you are absolutely ready for the industries. I think this is the last slide. The last, skill, and not last, the least, I can say. There are many other skills, but as we brought out all the broad points, so this is one skill which you need to think about, that is strong attention to details. So as an accountant, it's a highly regulated. So remember that it's not that any other kind of stocks what we are going to do. There are a lot of other processes going to attack it, like the regulators, the tax departments, the Companies Act. If your organization is listed in the stock exchanges, there are the regulators like SEBI. If you're a banking company, then RBI. Okay. So like that, it's a highly regulated. So accounting, this strong attention to details. There is a little margin for error when you are responsible for someone else's finances. Okay. If you do large error, then the consequences will be huge. Right? So accountants must follow the generally accepted accounting principles and stay aware of industry-specific rules, regulations, and deadlines. A keen eye for irregularities and errors is an essential skill for accountants. So identifying the errors and to rectify those errors is the real skill for you. Okay. So I think I am ahead of time. I mean, I just give some time. If you have any questions, so please feel free to ask. So I'm here for the.
Thank you very much, Dr. Das, for your elaborative and nice speech on accounting and technical skills. Definitely. So students, as Dr. Das has given you opportunity, you can ask any question or queries if you have in your mind. 2-3 minutes we can provide to you. So one by one, if you want to ask any question, just raise your hands and then unmute yourself and then ask. Okay?
Yeah, it seems they understood this question.
Yeah, I think definitely they understood 100%. because I have also understood 200%. So, but if they want to ask any question, anybody, my dear, then because Dr. Das having another assignment, so we can release him. Any students, you want to ask any question? Hello, students, can you hear me?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Sometimes in
Das.
class.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for your kind cooperation. Thank you, sir.